Welcome to another Motortown post-event race commentary. Today we got another Formula Frenzy, and this is going to be a tiny bit different than the others because we have 4 races. Anyways, let's get right into it. These are really not too complicated, but I'm also using a new piece of tech here. I finally downloaded VLC because I got tired of Windows Media Player. That thing is just... I mean, what do you think would be better? A random piece of software that you can get for free on the internet, or something that comes alongside your operating system made by the same people or the same company who works on that, and yeah, of course it's a free thing. It's not even close these days with how shitty some of Microsoft stuff has been. But yeah, we are getting started here in a moment. Of course, as per usual, we'll be using the Formula SCM. I got mine with a new paint shop right here. Recently came up with an idea for my Fortums. Since I have like 8 of them and they all had the same livery, I want to try out a few things. And then I decided to just put this onto other vehicles as well because it seemed really nice and works out for this one as well. But yeah, I just managed to get from last row to second place during the start. I don't know what everybody else was doing, but I really got a good start right there. This one is... it's a tough track, getting from those slight corners into the right-hand turn and then having to brake hard in order to take that corner there. But yeah, I managed to do so and am now pretty well in second place, behind Capapri right there. The thing is, I don't know what came over me with this entire event, but me overcooking the tires a bit is... it's gonna be the theme for the entire thing, not just this race, but every single one of them. So yeah, I did a bit of testing before, I did a bit of warm-up, but this is something that I kinda didn't get out of my system for this one. It's just, yeah. We're gonna be brave with the car in order to make it work, but this is just a bit much sometimes. That again cost me a bit of speed, having to counter steer and get it back under control. If you can do a slight drift and then just continue going the direction you want to without any interference, then that's alright. And I mean, getting the right braking zone and all of that is also usually preferred. That cost me second place pretty quickly. But yeah, here we are. Third place, still overcooking the drifts and just not really having all the control that I want. I might have to check back with my other cars. The thing is, this is a new edition. I didn't just repaint one of my existing cars, I bought another one. And I took my own tune from a workshop. It might have been a slightly outdated one, I'm not entirely sure. Or it might be because I'm using the shorter final drive ratio here. I got basically 2 setups, one for short tracks and one for tracks that need a decent top speed. And due to shorter final drive ratio being a bit more aggressive, that might be the problem here. I noticed that the one I downloaded had the wrong brake balance in there, and every other FSCM already had that changed. So, I don't know. Might be outdated. Might have to check back. I have to check back on that. But yeah, I'm holding on for dear life on this race. I think it's going to be 4 laps on this track. And right now I got Omni Hill behind me, so yeah, this isn't going to go well for too long. That dude is faster than me. Also underestimated the corner here. These are really long corners. It's sometimes tough reading them correctly. Like you get to the apex, you get back to the outside, and the corner just keeps on continuing. It's kinda rude. How dare you ask me to be skillful with my driving? But yeah, the people up front, they are slowly running away from me. I'm trying to fend off Omni Hill, but we'll see. This is also definitely not the ideal racing line there. Just gunning it straight for the apex isn't the best idea. You're supposed to brake on the outside of the next turn, then get to the inside, and then back to the outside, not just brake right towards the inside. But yeah, I didn't really have the best time here skill-wise. I don't know if I just had a weird day or something, but yeah. Still fun to participate, but sometimes you just can't really expect results too much. This whole thing had me consider to maybe activate the steering assist on the game. Just so that if I'm driving at speeds like this, I'm not getting the maximum steering angle anymore. It's just counterproductive, and most other games do it automatically. And like that, I completely lost the control of the car. It also happens sometimes. So yeah, threw it around, didn't even crash or anything real bad, but it was enough for Omni Hill to get away from me. And yeah, now the person behind me would be Chessbot. Might be having another duel in the moment. But he seems to be a bit further behind. Oh, slight instability on braking. That can also happen sometimes. So this is like half a week after the event. I honestly don't fully remember what's all happening. I know that it was more of a mixed bag for me, but yeah, it's not like I could point at the exact timestamp and give you guys only the highlights or something. But yeah, we are about 2/3 through the race. I saw Chess and I think also Sim20 on the map for a moment, so that's not reassuring at all. Also in front of me somebody might go for a lapping maneuver at some point. This is a slower part of the track that's also a bit more windy, so yeah, good chance to take a look at some people that you might not have contact with on the racetrack anymore. But this is where they are all very close together for a moment. Can even see 7 and 8 over there. And now it's getting dark, which is a bit of a problem because, well, Formula cars are not known for their amazing headlamps. They're more known for not having any of them. So yeah, I shouldn't be racing on 70% moonlight brightness because this is basically what you see here and it's not a lot. I hope you can still see something. I can, certainly. I mean, the red light for the braking, a bit of indicator light on the front and also the checkpoints. Bit of a track sometimes, but yeah, it gets dark, and with how the racing works out, there's usually a bit of darkness at least, and that's not always that nice. We got a Dutchman up ahead, who has an entire light bar, so rear spoiler is kinda really nice. But yeah, I overtook him without too much of a hassle. We also got Chessbot right behind me now. Final lap, by the way. So yeah, if you're wondering why we are doing 4 laps now, I mean 4 races, it's a small initiative by me because I think with a lot of these events we are asking people to get their vehicles set up for the stuff. I mean, with something like the FSCM, it's pretty straightforward. You are not gonna do much out of the ordinary with that. It only has one engine option, and everything else you're just gonna use and optimize your the vehicle's handling for your driving style. But yeah, for a lot of cars it's different. You got different engine options, and the one that we ask you to use might not be the one that's what you would naturally do. I mean, I hope that with the stuff that we are asking it's still something fun and all, but sometimes it might not be the things that you would have in mind for a vehicle. So, and yeah, of course, near the end, that's the last corner where I'm, of course, losing to Chess now. That's not great. But yeah, I think, okay, Chess just got into the dirt a little bit, so I might have a bit of overspeed now. Look at that! Spoiler, according to the server I'm still losing. Chess is the one setting up the server, so I think we are looking at a rigged game over here. Definitely. Okay, you're just gonna do me like that. Oh no, that's the first one again. Okay, I guess I gotta do the thing before getting to the end of the video. That's good to know. Might not be the best choice for this after all, but yeah. So yeah, Chess still got in front of me according to the finish stuff, and in the end that's really the only thing that counts. The thing why we are doing more races now, why the events are a bit longer is, well, I'm asking, or we are basically asking people to set up vehicles in a certain way. Get a certain vehicle, get the engine, get it tuned for them to drive it nicely however they want within the specifications. And I think for all that effort, giving them a bit more racing might entice them to do that stuff to begin with. Because 3 10-minute races for some of the work that you can put into the whole thing is just not always enough. But hey, I managed to start up front here in the second race, to comment about that real quick, and even got into first place, and I'm now leading away. Honestly, I remember this being driving on eggshells for me. It really didn't feel all that amazing. Like, just really trying to get some speed through the corners, trying to stay ahead, and it's already slowly falling apart here. At least I got the braking point correctly, so that may have saved me here for a moment. Going off into the dirt like that isn't something you want to do. And honestly, I like that this game has the right amount of punishment for people driving into dirt. It's cool for off-roading and all of that, but yeah, it would be kinda shitty if you just could do whatever and still come out on top if you just round out the corner a little bit. I mean, this area for racing isn't all that ideal due to there all being so many 90-degree corners. And I tried my damnedest with some of these sections, like especially the one at the start, to round out the stuff a little bit, so it feels a bit more smooth and has a bit more flow. But yeah, if I set up a track on an area with a bunch of 90-degree corners like this, I would still like the people to use them like that and not just go off the track all the time. Because at that point it doesn't matter what your track layout is. as long as there's not available to cut the stuff short, it's always gonna be done, and when the stuff just feels all the same. But I'm currently still very far ahead with Capapri over here. Everybody else maybe fighting it out a bit. Chess apparently got a run and managed to get ahead of the pack a bit, but overall we are kind of in a league on our own here, which I'm currently slowly losing. So that's nice. And yeah, maybe I need to do something about the checkpoints again there, because you can really cut them quite deep. You only need to slightly get into the checkpoint in order to still get it. You don't need to have your full vehicle in there. But that also means that there are going to be deep cuts in some parts of the race, especially during the chicanes right there. And yeah, this is not how you are supposed to take these corners. You're supposed to be a bit more smooth, set up for the second one there. And not take out or go through the first corner on a line as if it was a single corner and then fling yourself across the track on the second one. Yeah, I think we are now on the third lap, if I remember correctly. Might still be the second, I don't know. No, I think it's the third one. And yeah. Not really too much to say. It's the pack has definitely split up a little bit. We are already running close to lapping somebody. I mean, I like these tracks. They are quite nice, especially when we have a bit of variation with areas like the steel mill. The downside is if somebody crashes and really wrecks their car, there's barely any recourse to that. They could maybe teleport over to Gangyang, just teleport their vehicle there, then repair, then come back from that. I think that should be something that should be pointed out as being allowed, but yeah, there are no repair stations close by. So it's not like you can just drive into a garage, quickly press a few buttons and come back out with a fully intact vehicle. Okay, here we go, back onto the main straight. I mean, it's kind of back straight in a sense, but this is the only real straight that we have on here. Oh. Yeah, that dude didn't have the best time around the corner. So might not be a wrecked vehicle after all, it's just hard to drive. And this is something where you really need to figure out your tune. I mean, I'm not doing the best job at driving right now, but I know that my tune is somewhere up there, so yeah. Theoretically I could be fast with it. But that was also a good representation of how far you can potentially cut the corners if you want to. I try to stay more on the road, maybe go into the dirt with two wheels, but that's just about it. We got the lagging Dutchman to the right of me, which is kind of funny because if we can trust his name, we are both Europeans, but then again, we are both Europeans connecting to an American server, so us being close to each other doesn't matter much if the connection is very long for both. But yeah, overall I'm still in second place. They're getting into the last quarter of the race now, so maybe I can keep this. If I didn't go into the dirt there, that would have been a really nice way to take the corner, just really maximizing tech width to take the maximum velocity through here. Just keep your momentum up. But with how I've been taking that corner, it was really all that amazing. But yeah, I should really go back and make these checkpoints a bit more narrow. Like really have the inside edge on the end of the tarmac there, so that you cannot go fully off the tarmac right there, just fully into the dirt. And yeah, the people behind me are slowly catching up, so that's a bit concerning. It might be in the last lap here, so if I can just carry it through for another round, then we should be alright. Bit of a shortcut here, all good. Trying to take a bit of the extra concrete on the inside, but didn't go too well. A bit slow if you go into the dirt, which is what it should be. And really dropped the ball right there. That wasn't great. That was way too slow. Guy in first already on his way back to the start finish. I completely messed up the braking zone there, but yeah, with how much speed I took through the dirt, I at least managed to kinda keep the thing going. Just made a lot of space, but yeah, we are just running into each other here. It cannot fully be avoided. And this is likely my biggest mistake here. So the thing is, we have a lot of lag. The game tends to have desync. So that was a desync moment. And I shouldn't have gotten for that little squeeze in right there. That just wasn't a smart idea. I thought I had just enough space, but this would have been a risky maneuver with perfect synchronization, desync, and it's just gonna be all kinds of painful. Okay, next track, the classic Anson Speedway, the birthplace of the entire car here. I mean, if you look to the right in the distance, that's where the whole thing gets built. So here we are. And a decent start here, setting in behind Chess and Omnihill. Potentially even going to be in front of Omnihill, but no, I backed out of that. A safe third place is better than ramming into second place and us both crashing out. There are some good lines through here, or at least decent ones. Oh, slightly overcooked it. Had to counter steer when I started stepping out, and then it just went the other direction. Now getting overtaken by Neri, that's not what I would like to see, but hey, at least it was a pretty clean overtake, so props to them. But yeah, overall for me right now, these races have been start decent and then slowly fall back. But yeah, ideally you want to be a bit further on the outside there and then get a late apex and get a lot of speed and also stay on the inside for the final turn into the start-finish state, so you can just start accelerating early. I did none of that in that round. It's a really tough line to hit, especially with the chicane before the last turn. And yeah, still the issue with overcooking the whole thing, it's just not great. Not the best turn. Down in 5th position, it's yeah, a slow decline. Somebody over there messed up the first turn, and that's 2 of my opponents just sitting on the sideline. They must have gotten into a bit of a kerfuffle right there. So I'm back in 3rd. That's reassuring. I mean, I may only be able to capitalize on somebody's mistake in order to make places here. Not really in a good enough shape performance-wise to really attack. But at least I'm there when they make mistakes and that works out. Speaking of mistakes, I think, yeah, this is that one. So what happened there was I was once again overcooking, had to counter steer, and for some reason it just snapped me the other way, and that's it. Might have been due to the open diff of the car or something, I don't know. Felt really weird. And maybe I should have just gone for a pit stop at that point, because why not? But yeah, back in 5th position. Still got 6 and 7 behind me. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how much faster the lap times have gotten. I hope they at some point fix the lap time display to the left to really update during the race. Right now it doesn't really do that. Sometimes it even just shows the first lap of the last race or something. But yeah, lap times have gotten faster around Anson. Partially because of handling changes as well. One reason I made this event to begin with is because they changed tire behavior with the drag strip update. Basically now tires have temperatures, and those can affect the grip level and all of that. I mean, tire temperature has been a thing before, but now grip is a bit more dynamic, and that's a factor in that. And overall the grip has slightly increased across the board. With this one it's a bit more noticeable than with other vehicles. But there are some people who have a really good grip on those things and the lap times that you can get, that they notice immediately. I'm a bit too inconsistent for that, but when I got into the FSCM I noticed it felt really nice, right from the get-go. I don't know if I had the same issues with oversteering at that time that I have constantly right now. Sometimes it feels like the stuff is maybe a bit different during racing. Maybe because of lag or something. Maybe because of my own mental stuff. Like, I know I'm definitely driving differently during a race when I'm just quote-unquote cruising and just trying to be fast doing that. Or testing a car. Maybe I'm just overdoing it in this moment, but who knows. Okay, we are past the first half of the race. Oh. Also, the footage is getting a bit laggy for some reason. I don't know fully what's up with that. Oh no, we have some frame drops on the game during the recording, so that was the issue. Can barely see it, but there is of course a frame counter on the top there. and that was just at 50. But yeah, we are basically on our own little island now, pace-wise. I don't think we'll be seeing Omnihill again, who is one straight ahead of me. We might be seeing the people behind me if I make a mistake. But you know what, we are in 5th place now, and I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. Oh, right into me overtaking Dutchman, who seems to have a really hard time trying to control a vehicle. The thing is, with grip increases like what I just talked about, it can backfire a bit. Sometimes your vehicle needs adjustment. It might be better afterwards, but if you made a really good tune for one particular version of the game with one particular car, and then the game updates and something changes that is an overall improvement, your vehicle can still be feeling worse off until you adjust for that. And maybe that's what I need to do here, just trying to adjust the vehicle a little bit. And not do stuff like that. But yeah, I think we are on the final lap now. So let's skip ahead a little bit. First person is about to finish here. And we really got nothing going on here anymore. Yeah, one more time through the chicane. Omnihill is already finished. And here we are. Finishing with an overall time of 11 minutes 18. So 20 seconds after Omnihill. I mean, there are people who finished 10:43. So that was a bit faster than me, but 20 seconds behind Omnihill isn't really the worst performance, I would say, on an 11-minute race. Okay, now on to the last one. And since this is a Formula-style car, even despite being entry-level, of course we had to do a lap around Liegio Grand Tour, which is basically this game's green hell of my own making. Okay, time to get to the exact start. Thankfully this player is a bit more responsive than Windows Media Player. Okay, here we go. Second behind Omnihill. Good place to be in. About to get into a hard right-hand turn. Back to the left and up the serpentines. This is a really fun sector. I mean, the kind of track is for kind of entire track is fun, but this is actually especially fun in my opinion. One of the slower segments. Going through here could have been a bit of a sharper line. I didn't get the best line through here. Also got Capapri behind me, who has been... I don't know if they have been winning all the races, but they have definitely been very much on top of the entire event here. Someone having problems with the game. Yeah, that's kind of sad, but well, nothing we can do about it. getting into the chicane bit. Really good braking on the lead up to the bridge there. That can be really deadly, but avoided all the issues. Going through the chicane there. Yeah, should have maybe gone a bit further to the right, but going through the shrubs there wasn't really all that much of a problem. Worked out pretty well. But yeah, Capapri is right behind me. And I just overcooked it, and yeah. I ended up on an invisible rock there. Didn't see that one coming until it made me jump, and I mean, I'm back on the track. Trying to maybe not let anybody else pass, but we'll have to see about all of that. And seeing is actually a good transition to the next topic here, because it's getting dark. And we are not on a racetrack anymore where everybody is showered in floodlights all the time. We are on an open road track, and it's about to get really dark. So I can see the checkpoint ahead, I can see the sidelines, but everything in the middle of the road, and especially the one that I'm driving into right now, it's, yeah. It's bad. I'm barely seeing where the road is going. At this point, I'm basically flying blind. And that was also the case during the race. I completely went off the road there because I couldn't see where I was going. And I was actually happy to have somebody overtake me, because they became my North Star, my guiding light in the darkness. So, yeah. Basically my complete undoing doing this race here. Bad timing with the night cycle. So yeah, I'm just trying to somehow stay on the road. Now that we are not surrounded by trees anymore, there's a bit more moonlight coming onto the ground. And that must be enough for me right now, because I'm not getting any more. I could have maybe just pulled over and adjusted my settings, but I decided to not do that. Maybe I should remember that before the next racing event, because while I enjoy this for regular driving, for racing it's really annoying, and other people are driving on something like plus 200%. So, yeah. I don't need to do it like this. Although honestly, in other cars that have maybe something like a headlight, high beams, that kind of technology, it might be alright. Usually it is. Neri completely overheating there, and I'm going for an overtake, and also something really stupid, because I completely forgot that we have to turn here. Okay, one thing I can say at this point, I'm usually trying to have a few events set up at the same time. Have a bit of a backlog, so that if I don't feel like working on something for the next weekend or so, I can just pull one out of the box and have that done already. Before the stuff gets too tight with the schedule and all of that. So I've recently been thinking about a special kind of event, and it's gonna be for the next weekend. And that includes a different version of this exact track. It's quite different, it has a few shared sections, but the thing that's important for this entire thing right now, when I got to that point that I just completely missed the turn-in, on that other track we are going straight. So, yeah, I did quite a few test runs, and they did me in because I completely forgot that it's not the same on every track, which is why we have checkpoints. Doesn't help if you're a dumbass. I think I may have also gotten a bit tired at that point. It's my sleep schedule has been a bit of a back and forth, and at that point it kind of swung back the other way to where I sometimes I just wanna be in bed by 8 p.m. Not that amazing, but hey, it's okay. Better than if you get to 4 a.m. and still cannot go to sleep, so had that in the past, cannot recommend. Falling asleep early is it's a bit nicer. But yeah, I basically managed to talk through the entire Lilu section. By the way, on this track only one lap. So we are slowly getting back to Gangyang now, which is going to be the end of the race here. We also have some trees coming up on both sides, and they are still making the area a bit darker than it is already. I mean, you can see, especially with the white and yellow lines just completely disappearing visually. And yeah, I managed to get onto the side line there, and that wasn't great. Almost managed to save it, but not quite. Also ended up going in reverse here, trying to stay out of the other guy's way. But yeah, the planters are still not something you want to drive on. They are much better than what they used to be in the distant past. But yeah, that wasn't amazing. I thought it would be something due to the darkness, but honestly at this point, right here, this is fine to see. Maybe not on YouTube anymore, and I apologize for that if that's the case, but for me in the race and right now doing the recording, it's okay. It's not easy. It's not like daylight. But it's not a problem. This, on the other hand, immediately so much worse, just due to the trees and the shadow. And yeah, of course, this is basically it for me here. Little spoiler for the next event. The corner that I just took, going to the left there and back to Gangyang. On the new variant of the track, we are going to the right, and then we are going onto the highway across over to Oji. If I were to do this exact thing that I did, waking myself after Jeju City, ruining the entire race. I could still go to Olive Speedway, the racetrack right next to the start of the bridge there, then repair. It's a tiny little detour, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not something that you want to take compared to having a repair station right next to your next to the track. That would definitely be the correct thing to do there, because from that point on, you're not getting any repairs for a while. But yeah, the next event is going to be a bit like a mini endurance. I took a car that has a really small fuel tank, put in a really strong engine so that the fuel that is in there isn't going to last long. And then we are going to go into 2 30-minute races. I might have to see how I'm going to cover these, if I'm going to cover them at all. I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, that's what's being planned here. And we'll just have to check about everything there. But yeah, that's for the next event. I'm looking forward to it. I got my car prepared. It's actually driving quite a bit nicer than I initially thought. I mean, to be clear, if I didn't like the driving, I would likely not be making that into an event. But we'll have to see how it all turns out. But I'm excited. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, have a good one, and bye bye.